Thank you. And I'm going to speak as ground as I can so that we can bridge, because I can get very far out. Okay? And I'm going to keep it as grounded as I can.
You can get far out if you like. That's okay.
Oh, sweetie, if you knew how far out I am far out. Travel through galaxies and universes and dimensions and can see your original soul, and I can see the inner microhuman, meaning what's happening in your physical tissues. I can even see life expectancy. I can see a lot of things. I can see the emotions. I can see your psychic plane. There's a lot of things. And I'm extremely clairsentient means that I'm able to feel as if, let's say, you're in a vehicle, like you're in a vehicle. It looks like you're in a vehicle right now. So you're in a vehicle, right? Say the vehicle is the human body or the being that you are. I'm able to come into that space and be able to see and look where your pain bodies are. Pain bodies can be patterns, belief patterns, perceptions. It can be trauma and experiences. And I am very clairsentient, meaning the body really, really is very expressive. So it's very dramatic and very extreme and very intense. And so it's not me putting on a show. It's literally energy moving through my body as I come in. Yeah, I am a clear layer. Like there's no layers. I'm a clear channel. Channeling, basically, let me just say some basics. Everything is energy. There's a non-physical energy. Just like thoughts are non-physical. Energy can also be physical. There's non-physical and physical. All energy carries a wavelength or a frequency, just like you would tune into Netflix for a movie or Spotify for music. It has a frequency. Frequencies basically carry data and information. So I'm like a superhuman antenna that's able to tune into, and this is what happens, is my body translating energy through my body into any frequency, into the microhuman, up through the soul level. Yeah? So that's why you're gonna see what you just saw. Yeah, just gotta ground that in so it's not a surprise. Now I'm gonna look, permission to go in through your physical body, and I always ask permission. And I feel even more intensely than people actually feel themselves often.
Okay.
So I'm going to come in. Let me clarify. 12th Dimension Council Light, please assist. Thank you so much. Okay. Things are happening in both ways. And so quite a few things. 12th Dimension Council Light, can we amplify my delivery of communication to adjust to David? Thank you so much. So when you're talking about parasitic, I feel physically and I also feel non-physically. Yeah? And let me feel the... So are you familiar with energy centers or what is known as chakras?
Kind of.
Okay, yeah, no problem.
Kind of.
No
Not
problem.
really, to be honest.
I love honesty. That's all I am. Let's just be it.
Okay.
Awesome. So there is, I'm just going to scan real quick. It's going to be fast. I'm going to start from, you're not living your soul life purpose. And so I'm doing a quick scan of all your energy centers. That's 1 foot above your head is the life purpose. It's your North Star. And so there's a little bit of self-frustration that you put upon yourself. And part of not living your soul life purpose is what you already described, which is all the stuff that's happening here. That is what you feel kind of like is preventing you from having the energy to actually, in clarity of thought, to move forward. Yeah, makes sense?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Getting into your mind. Lots of mental frustration and a lot of It's too much, David. Too much. Too much here. Too much concentrating. Too hard. Do you hear that? Stand by. I can be more specific if it's helpful. 1 second. Let me get into your throat. Okay, we can jump down. Stand by. Let me feel the heart. Heart feels disappointment. Lots of disappointment. And then second, so I'm going to go to the third. So third energy center is a power center. So this is a heart, and I'm going to show you a diagram. Excuse me. I am wearing a bodysuit, but it is what it is. Everyone, you're welcome. All right, so right here. Heart, solar plexus. Here's my rib cage. Here's the power center, everyone. This is your soul light. This is your purpose. This is how we engage with the world. This is embodying our power and our presence. Now, right here is where there's a lot of self-expectation and where you're really hard on yourself. And frustration. And then your masculinity, I'm just going to go into the masculinity with you. You're a strong masculine. You're a very strong masculine, and it's beautiful. But it's a little bit over because you push yourself too much, expect too much. Does that make sense? You're hard on yourself. So then I'm going to go into the second energy center right here, which is below the belly button. And the second energy center is basically where we process emotions. And that is also where we receive nourishment. It is also where we're nurtured and cared for. And it's that second energy center where there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff there of emotions and yeah, trust is hard for you. Due to disappointment. Is this resonating with you at all?
To a degree, yeah. Yeah.
And so then we're going to get into the physical. Can you tell me more about like the physical things that are happening with your, so let me feel so there's prominent emotions, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Prominent emotions are frustration, there's anger, there's disappointment, there's a little sadness. And what comes up too with the overthinking is fear that you're not living your highest potential, or fear, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. And to an extent, that's okay, you know, but there's, I mean, my highest potential really is being obedient to God, you know. And so
may I add to that?
mm-hmm.
When you say obedient to God, if I were to translate that in the words that I would use, is surrender to divine, right? Whatever you call it, like it's a surrender. And when we surrender, instead of being in the ocean, struggling through it or trying to make it work, when we surrender, we float. And then the divine, or what you call God, like, right, lifts us up. And it's that surrender. And so can we talk a little bit more about what's happening in the physical body? Could you be a little bit more specific? Because I can see it.
Yeah, I have some circulation issues that I guess 6 weeks ago kind of started in my neck. And then I live with chronic pain in my stomach.
The stomach is the one that I see the most. But go on.
Okay. And then various regions from there, you know, like both quadriceps and my pelvic region, and more or less that. And I know what parasite it is. I've been reluctant to treat it because of things that have happened within my heart. And so now that I had these new circulation issues, that parasite has gone into
Systemic.
Yeah, it's gone into some of my arteries, and I've just kind of I don't know, been a little bit more cautious with myself, but I don't treat things aggressively like I used to before, and it was kind of a setback.
Yeah, that's a very chronic one. It's been a chronic one. And I was talking about the second energy center with the emotions and whatnot. That's below the belly. And I was talking about the third energy center with the power. That's where the most of the work is. Non-physically, it's physically manifested in through these parasites, where we get. I'm going to talk about the spiritual aspect and connect it with the physical. It's always non-physical before it becomes physical. So when we don't allow ourselves, if we feel these emotions, or are hard on ourselves, or our self-talk, or our mind frame, right? Our state of mind, our state of being is, I have no other word to say, compromised or not very clear. So you do have a clarity of, like, let's say, values of, let's say, with the divine or with God, right? And there's also a little bit more clarity as far as aligning with, I'm going to use words that would connect with you, aligning with, don't need to be hard on yourself or chastise yourself. Does that make sense? Because what happens is in the physical, that's where, when we feel weakest, or when we're hard on ourselves, we become compromised with these parasites that come in. That's why they can physically manifest, right? And so I would like to give you more practical solutions, because there's non-physical stuff to work through, which is the perceptions, the belief patterns that make us more compromised to have this systemic thing happening. It's originated in your stomach, and then it spread, right? And let me tell you some great news. The great news is, just as it started non-physically and manifested to something physically, we can work in tandem with physical stuff, right? Physical treatment, but also non-physical treatment. For example, there's changing your frequency. I was telling you about energy and frequency. There are literally people, and it's called quantum meditation. Literally people who change their frequency. That's also what I'm doing with myself. I had a brain tumor 5 months ago. It was taken out. I have a little bit of brain tumor left. I'm going to meditate that one out. And I'm not an ungrounded person. I've been meditating for more than 25 years. And I've been practicing. I've transformed so many times. And I've helped people transform as well, who have had systemic things like you do. And I'm not saying it just needs to be meditation, but it's also a mindset and a mind frame, because there's a lot going on here. Does that make sense? And a breath and an ease of that to work in tandem with a clearer lifestyle, as far as even how you're probably eating. Yeah. And then like a daily, just like a routine or a practice to get you more clear and feeling a lot more empowered. Because you're someone who is you're very strong. You're very strong. And if you were just to apply like some of these tweaks, I mean, you're just amazing for what you've been experiencing. But we just need to rest this a little bit more, being the mind and just how hard but the surrender and the surrender to God is amazing. That's what I first saw when I said it's so wonderful to see you. And then let me just see in your psychic plane, okay? Yeah, you're gorgeous. You're a brilliant being. You're amazing. And you're you're simply amazing. And I don't give lip service. I literally can't lie. Okay. Stand by. So let me look at your psychic plane. And psychic plane, there can be beings there. Sorry, give me a moment. All right. David, this may be far out.
Okay.
Would you give me 12 dimensional counts of light? Do I have permission to clear this psychic energy? There are other entities, non-physical, just like there are souls and spirits, right, that move on, that can attach to a person, auric field or psychic plane, especially when they're feeling the way you're feeling. Yeah?
Yeah.
Wrong, it happens a lot to people. So, in general. And I can clear it for you right now. So when we're feeling compromised and we're feeling an energetic drain, it's not only happening in your physical body and the mental, but it's also happening in the psychic plane. Let me just see. Can we see how many? Good news is there's only one entity. I'm gonna clear it for you right now. I'm a living exorcist. I know. I'm not even to scary movies. Seriously, couldn't handle it. But I've cleared hundreds.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
gonna. That good?
Okay. I'm just gonna say in the power of Jesus, let this be so. Amen.
Yeah. He goes by Christ.
Okay.
Yeah. Hi, Christ. He comes to me a lot. And he says to be compassionate with yourself. Right? He says he hears your prayers.
So are you talking about the entity that?
No, I'm talking about Christ.
Okay.
I can channel any ascended master. Christ is an ascended master. Oh, hi, Buddha. Sorry, I get like a little girl when I see ascended master. Okay. Yeah, he goes by Christ. You see him, he's so beautiful. Okay, so, actually, I'm going to tell you what in a moment he's speaking to me, David. So he comes to me very often. Just like Christ.
Okay.
Just as he is a healer,
Yeah.
I am a healer. I'm not saying I'm an ascended master at all. I'm a master, but not an ascended one. So he is coming through me, and we're gonna work first with his stomach. Permission?
Okay.
I feel the resistance, but it's okay. And I'm trying to figure it out. That's fine too. David, I'm now gonna touch your head.
Okay.
He's touching your head. Breathe in through your nose, David. Expand the belly as you inhale through your nose. And you're going to exhale through your nose as well, but easy breath. Bring in the belly when you exhale. Continue these breaths. We don't even need to actually clear out this entity, because what we're doing right now is increasing your frequency, making it higher so that this entity, frequency matches frequency, so this entity can attach to you.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes, in a moment. let me check. Entity gone. And Christ is still here. So humbly. You may ask your question.
What was the purpose of the entity being with me?
Are you ready? Okay. So this happens whenever we're feeling weak in the stomach, or whenever we're feeling weak in the like let's say the parasitic, the physical stuff, right? Or the mental, when people get in depression or they feel all these emotions, our energetic field, it's easier for an entity, or what I would label an attachment. An entity is actually in a, what I would call, if you were talking about business, there's an entity, it's like in a form, but it's non-physical. And an attachment is more like a fog. It's not an exact form. So I've been doing this for many years, by the way, but it's not my highest life purpose. So it's not a purpose. It's that it sees that you're weakened. So it is like a parasite, meaning it feeds off, and then it feeds more of the same types of cycles of thoughts that, of those, the frustration or the upset or so that it can feed off more of you. Does that make sense? So then, but it is, yeah, it's out of your second plane, and still a lot of here trying to figure things out. You don't need to, the mind is limitations. Can't perceive that. The mind has, I literally, when I channel, I don't use the mind. The only thing that I use is language to translate what I'm channeling. That's it. I literally do not allow the mind to come in. There's a quiet. It's very silent.
Okay.
Yeah? And it's, have you ever practiced Vipassana?
I don't know.
Buddha.
No.
I'm going to type it in for you. Do you have your chat? Can you open your chat box?
Okay.
And it's taught by the Buddha, and there's no conflict between Buddha and Christ. There's no conflict. It is basically, it is a practice of breath that the Buddha taught, and it helps to calm the no mind. There's no craving or aversion, there's equanimity. The gem with this meditation is equanimity, no craving or aversion. I dislike this experience of the systemic thing that's coming up. I want to be in my fullest power so I can be driving my life forward, right? There's stuff with trying to control things. So I love that your prayer is about surrender, or however words that you say, because that is the pathway. Vipassana helps with basically easing the frustrations, or when the intensity that's here, to bring it down, bringing the energy down. Does that make sense? Another meditation is quantum, which changes our frequency, which could actually do the physical healing. I would recommend Vipassana before we do quantum. Quantum is by Dr. Joe, he teaches it. Quantum by Dr. Joe. And I'm available to go to send you more resources. David, do you have my personal contact information by any chance, or my
no.
Okay, so do you also have Insta or no?
Instagram?
Yeah.
Nope.
Okay, great. I'm just gonna give you my email right here. Light of Paradise. So it's connect@lightofparadise.com. You can email me there. And also Senpai. Yes. I'm giving you my number.
Okay.
There you are. And we can, I can answer more of your questions, or actually give you more resources.
Okay.
Yeah?
All right.
May I just say one more thing?
Sure.
me just feel it from my heart before I say it. The path can be a lot easier. It doesn't need to be one of struggle or strain. And I would like to provide you with tools and resources on the actual how to be easier with that path. Does that make sense? It's practical, real world things. So it's a lot easier. And I feel a lot of compassion for the physical. The physical. It's a lot. And continue to pray with Christ. Sorry, I'm such a little girl. I never remember. The first time I channeled him was to my grandmother who prayed the rosary, and she's with Mother Mary, and then Christ came through, and I cried for 30 minutes in humility to be in his presence. Now I giggle, but it's very humbling. All right. Okay. So, thank you so much. Thank you so much, David.
Thank you very much, Paradise. I very much appreciate it. Yeah, I'm just gonna think about all this stuff for a little while. But yeah.
I recommend not thinking. I recommend breathing, being in nature. Give your mind a break. Yeah? Do something that is more movement or nature or something where you are not thinking. You can.
Okay.
Yeah?
Okay.
Bless you, David. Okay. Everyone, thank you so much for joining this pop-up Q&A, literally last minute, and I'll have one in every month, and it will be even more organized than this. So I really, really appreciate everyone for showing up, and patience for allowing me to channel for each person and hearing everyone out. And there's always resonance when we connect, meaning if you showed up, it's a divine gift on both ends. Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wonderful. I'm reading the chat. I love you so much, Emma. I'll see you this week. And Sarah. Gotcha. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and close out, and there's my information there if you'd like to reach out to me directly. Everyone in the chat box, okay? All right, take care. Bye, everyone.